Hey, and welcome back. Today we are on lesson 19 of A Course in Miracles. I'm not gonna lie, I totally recorded this video like over a month ago, maybe not that long, but pretty much right after I did lesson 18. But then I recorded it, I looked at it, I didn't really like it, and so I never uploaded it. So with a little bit of resistance, I'm gonna dive into today's video. The only reason I have resistance is because it's very similar to lesson 18. So with that said, let's get started. Okay, after that super depressing intro that makes it feel really lame, this lesson is actually very positive. So let me just like check my energy, okay? Lesson 19 says, I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. And what I do actually really love about this lesson is, to me, it's reminding me or reminding us of the collective consciousness, which is the fact that we are all connected. We are all energetic beings. We are all made up of tiny particles vibrating really, really fast. So fast to the extent that they create this physical looking vessel, but in fact, and like a solid vessel, but in fact, it's just a bunch of moving, vibrating particles of energy that are doing that. And same with you, same with everything, right? So with that said, we're all connected through that energy, through the quantum field. And so my thoughts, I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of those, because my thoughts are not only energetically like projecting out into the world and showing up in the world, but they're also like affecting me physically and mentally and emotionally in how I'm showing up today, which then as I talk to someone is going to affect that person. So I want to break down both of these in terms of like why I think this is so powerful to be aware of. Because so looking at the physical, we'll start there, the physical, mental, emotional standpoint. If my thoughts are causing me to experience anxiety, or causing me to experience fear or doubt or unworthiness, whatever it is, if that's what my thoughts are causing me to experience, and then I come and I meet you outside on the street or at the coffee shop, and I'm carrying that and I'm experiencing that because of my thoughts, that is going to affect you. Even if I'm not straight up diving in and sharing all of this anxiety or all of this unworthiness, all of this pain and fear, it's still showing up, and it's still going to be something you are aware of, whether you're consciously picking up on it or not. Some of us are more in tune to energy than others, and we can feel that right away, where you're like, oh, like I can feel this person's anxiety, or you can feel their fear rubbing off. And some people don't feel it, but unconsciously, they're still picking up on it, okay? So this is why you're not alone in experiencing the effects of your thoughts, because other people around you that you come in contact with are actually going to be experiencing a byproduct of your thoughts. Now we look at the metaphysical standpoint, the energetic standpoint, is that it doesn't even matter if I'm coming into contact with you. My energy, because I'm connected to the field of consciousness, and you are connected to the field of consciousness, and the whole planet, everyone on the planet is connected to that. My own personal thoughts are basically like, you can envision it of just like this cord going up from your head into this web, this big web that connects over top of the planet and connects down into every person's head. So every single person is like sending their thoughts, like little light bulbs, little flashes of light moving up those strings to that web of consciousness that connects all of us. And this is why we hear some amazing things. For example, like the Maharishi experiment. I always pronounce his name wrong, but he was the yogi who was all about TM, transcendental meditation. And they literally did studies in Washington where they had a huge collective group And I think it was still only like 1% of the population of that city or that state where they were studying it. Like it was like 1% of the population was coming together every day and doing their TM meditation, meditating on peace and love. And as they did this, they could see, numbers went down in crime, health issues decreased, and like hospital visits, all these different things, car accidents decreased, all these things with like negative energy and mayhem decreased because a very small portion of the population in the community was focusing on high vibrational thoughts and focusing on sending that into that field of consciousness. This is why we see right now with everything going on in the planet, if each person just focused their own thoughts on being more positive and loving and stopped giving into this freaking fear matrix that we've been pushed and pushed and pushed into. Stop watching the news, okay? Start there if you haven't, please. Please stop watching the news. But if every single one of us just focused more on positivity and fear, it would literally send that energy into that collective consciousness, and it would shift the physical reality, it would shift the things that are happening in the three-dimensional reality, and we don't realize that. We're so programmed again in this place of fear and stress and struggle that we don't realize that we're actually creating more fear, stress, and struggle when we're there, not only for ourselves, but for those around us and the planet in general. So the more you focus on getting into the opposite state and really becoming aware of your thoughts, becoming aware of where you're putting your energy, your attention, you can change the planet. And that's where, I think just really realizing the state and the impact that you have as an individual, okay? And so I know for me, I always felt so hopeless and helpless because I was like, I want to change the world, but how am I going to do that? I'm just one person. Well, that's because I was really programmed to feel defeated and small and like I wasn't good enough. Like I couldn't make a change, right? But when I started to realize, whoa, wait a minute, if I just keep changing myself, if I just keep helping myself, if I keep raising my vibration, becoming more of like a light and just a beacon of love and hope, and if I can just be this positive energy, and then I now can share that, spread that, help teach that, overflow that into the world around me, then I actually can help and ripple out to impact more people. So not that that's the purpose of this, but it's like you have a lot of power within you to do really good things in the world, and I want to run that home, okay? So, rant is over. We are coming back to the book. This is emphasizing the fact that minds are joined, and this is rarely a welcome idea at first, because it seems to carry as an enormous sense of responsibility. Like now we feel responsible for everyone. It's like, oh my God. And that's not what I'm trying to say of like, don't beat yourself up if you have a negative thought. Don't beat yourself up if you're processing some heavy emotions. And don't feel like, oh, now I'm feeling guilty because like, oh, I'm putting that out into the field and am I sharing that and spreading that to other people? No, it's okay. But realize like there's a beautiful sense of responsibility, a beautiful gift, and a beautiful ability that by you kind of continuing to be more aware of your thoughts and your energy, where you're giving your power to, that spreads and ripples in a positive way to those around you. So it's like, it's not a responsibility and a pressure, it's like a superpower, really, is how I see it. So, this is also sharing, there are no private thoughts, which can then be also the thing that intimidates us, is if we feel like, oh, I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts, well, then now I feel like my privacy is gone, and it's like kind of maybe that's scary. That's not really, in my opinion, that's not really the intention of this lesson. It's more just showing the connection, that interconnectedness of all of us, and seeing that our thoughts actually go further than just here. They don't just affect us, okay? So today's exercise, to get into that, is to look around or think about your thoughts and go, I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of this thought about money stress, or I am not alone in experiencing the effects of this thought about all the things that I have to do today, right? And we can even look at that in a very, very, very simple three-dimensional way of like, hey, you're not alone in that, because chances are someone else has felt that way too, or thought that too, right? And it could be as simple as that. Maybe these last 10 minutes have just been me diving like way out there, when in reality it's just like, hey, you're not alone. Hey, the next time you're feeling anxious or insecure, you're not alone. Funny fact is pretty much every single human has felt that way before, so you're not alone, right? It's all good. That would be a very, very easy, simple way to look at this lesson as well. So let's just throw that out there. If that resonates with you more, you can take that. So do not forget just to select random thoughts. You know, there's no right or wrong. There's no specific order. Don't discriminate and be like, oh, I'm not going to include this. Just whatever comes to your head, whatever comes through your consciousness as you're doing that, just go with it, right? It could be something that you feel is like a really simple thought, or it could be something where you're like, oh, wow, I didn't even realize I was thinking that. Either or, there's no right or wrong, there's no good or bad. So it's just practicing and seeing, I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of this thought about blank. And one last thing related to that is like the effects of that thought. So the reason you're also not alone in that is like, yeah, just think if you're having a thought about something that makes you feel anxious, you're not alone in experiencing the effects. So you are probably starting to feel anxious, but like you're not alone in that, you know? Other people have felt it too, and other people might be picking up on it from you. So once again, it's kind of like that double-edged sword where you really are not going through any of it alone, because none of us are ever going through anything in life alone. It just can feel that way sometimes because of the illusion of separation. So I'm gonna end this here before I go into more like rabbit holes of different things. But this also helps you see that like there's no specific order or right or wrong or like steps in the thoughts that you're bringing forward, which also can hopefully help you recognize a lack of order in miracles as well. So like there's no order or specific way in which the miracles come to you, right? It's like just being open and just seeing it's all part of the process, basically. Like whatever, there's no steps, I think is what I'm trying to say here. So let's end it there for today, because let's just do that. So that was lesson 19. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up and tune in for future Course in Miracles. And I will continue to work on being a little bit more consistent with these bad boys. So keep your eyes peeled. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this helps you continue to choose love, focus on love, right? Love or above. It's the beautiful emotion. It's a beautiful vibration to put out into the world. And I will see you on the next video.